I feel like as we get older, we start to lose this. We start to step into this expectation of how we are supposed to create the holiday for others, or what we're supposed to do, or what people expect from us. And we lose that magic.
Welcome, bienvenue, bonjour to the Beautiful Soul-Led Life podcast. For women who desire to awaken their heartfelt desires, trust themselves fully, and connect with their soul's purpose through beauty. On y va. Let's go.
Hello, bonjour, and welcome to the Beautiful Soul-Led Life podcast. This is Marino. When you get this, when this launches, this podcast, it will be December 22nd, 2023. So just a few days from now. I really want to dedicate this episode to relaxing into the holidays, to really gifting ourselves permission to enjoy the type of holiday that we desire. It's so easy to get swept up in the consciousness of what it is we are supposed to be doing, or how it is we're supposed to enjoy, or the expectations that others might have on making sure they enjoy their holiday. So I want to get cozy here. If you're joining us on YouTube and you're seeing the video, I actually have my Terra Paris joggers on. I think I stole the last pair. Might have one left before we place our new orders. We'll be talking more about Terra Paris and the fashion line in 2024. Have some surprises coming. So relaxing. Even if you're not joining us on video, I'm wearing currently Terra Paris black joggers. They're a wool cashmere blend. Actually just wool. These ones are just a wool blend, and a big oversized men's collared shirt. I'm trying to think of who makes this one. The Frankie shop. Super cute, huge, totally oversized, and a Calvin Klein bra. Okay, now that we all got our outfits situated, wherever you're listening to this right now, what is your current connection and relationship with the holidays in general? Just note that for yourself. Like, as soon as I ask that, what comes up for you? And then secondly, what is your current relationship to this holiday? Whatever it is that you're celebrating, maybe you celebrate Christmas, maybe you celebrate Hanukkah, whatever it is that you celebrate, what is your current relationship to this coming holiday? And just see how that feels inside of you. If you can gift yourself permission to recognize what is coming through for you and what is currently important to you around this holiday. Because what I want to bring forward is such a level of permission for every single one of us to have the level of co-creative power that we can around the type of holiday that we want to create for ourselves. This does not mean that we can control ever, right? That we can control the people around us or what their own expectations are. But it does mean that we can be incredibly intentional to not get swept up in the expectation and to really slow down and ask ourselves the types of questions that will support us in co-creating the type of holiday that we desire to have. So we're going to utilize the FemmeTypes for this. It's a super quick, easy process. The first time I talked about creating an intentional holiday, so for me, we celebrate Christmas. So I'm going to say Christmas. The first time I talked about creating an intentional Christmas was when we first moved from Arizona to California, which was in 2008. You might be able to find these videos in the vault in YouTube. This was 2008. How long ago is this? It's a very long time. 15 years ago, right? Right now. So I've been talking about this for quite a while. And yet, for myself, the potency isn't diluted at all because it's so easy to forget about this. So the reason I'm bringing that forward is no matter how much we know about setting intentions, no matter how much we know about co-creating anything, there's a difference between us knowing it and really slowing down to embody and to honor the time and the space to co-create it. So let's all move into that together, right? Above and beyond the knowing and into the co-creation of this. Because again, no matter how many times I've done this, it's so easy to skip over and just have a level of expectation that things are going to go a certain way even though we haven't identified the way we want them to go. So that's what we're going to be doing together in just the next 10 minutes is supporting you in identifying the way you would like it to go. So see what happens when I say that to you. You may have an experience or a reflection of, oh my gosh, well, things aren't going to go the way that I want them to go. They never go the way that I want them to go. So forget it. I'm not going to do it. Right. I'll just surrender. We do this thing sometimes where we have been disappointed in the past and we say, okay, fine. I'm just going to I'll be okay with whatever it is. And we pull our own desire energy back from co creation, thinking we're surrendering, when in fact, what we're doing is we're playing super passive. So, can you gift yourself permission to lean in no matter what your experience has been in the past? Still give yourself full co creative power inside of this conversation and know that you will receive exactly what you desire. Now, we could have a whole spin-off conversation about, well, Tara, what do you mean? I'm not going to get exactly what I desire. And I will say you do. You always do. We always do. So maybe we'll do a spin-off on that in January if this feels good and it speaks to you. So let's move into the co-creation opportunity. First, can you gift yourself permission to fully co-create? No matter what's happened in the past. Can you move past that kind of upper limit that you might feel up against, which is, well, I can co-create this much, or it's not going to happen, so I'll play super small, or it's not going to happen because my mother always does this, or my father always does this, or my kids always do this, or my mother-in-law or my father-in-law, or whoever it is always does this, therefore I can't co-create the way that I want. And can you reclaim the fullness of that power now, regardless of anyone else? And let's play. Let's play in this. Do you remember when you were a little kid? And again, I'm going to use Christmas, but whatever it is for you, Hanukkah, whatever it is. Do you remember Christmas and how you used to prepare? I remember. We used to get the Sears catalog. It was so thick, right? It was like, if you can see me on video, it was like, I don't know, like 2 inches thick. And I used to wait for this freaking thing to come in the mail. And I used to sit in my dad's desk. So I grew up in Julian, California. Well, first, I spent the first 8 years of my life in New York. And then we moved to Julian when I was 8 years old. So Julian, California. And we had this big, huge ranch house. It was quite big, 3,500 square feet, long ranch house. And my dad's office was in the living room, which was on the far other side of the house. It was a huge living room with really high ceilings and big, huge wood beams, like really beautiful. And in the corner of that living room, my dad had a desk, a wooden desk, and he had a really big layback, kind of really cool leather chair that used to be my grandfather's. So it smelled of leather, and it even smelled of like a pipe. My dad, before I was born, or maybe even when I was quite young, he used to smoke pipes. And so I could smell like this old flavor of tobacco that was actually really beautiful and really soothing. So I'd sit at his desk with this big Sears catalog and I would dog ear the pages. And literally, I think I would sit there for 2 hours, maybe more, circling the thing, envisioning the thing, looking at the Barbie van and whatever else was in there that I wanted, and dog earing. Like, it was a whole visioning exercise for me, and I loved it. One of the other things that we did, we had a record player. And my siblings and I have 2 younger brothers and a younger sister. I'm the oldest of 4. And we would play Alabama Christmas. I can get super teary-eyed even thinking about it. We would turn on Alabama Christmas, and there was this one song called Christmas Bear. And my youngest brother is 7 years younger than me. He was usually always on my hip. He was, I was the second mama. And we would sing this song and he would laugh and we would dance around the living room like, oh. We also used to make snowflakes and stick them on the window. We used to get Christmas trees, and my room would have the Christmas tree where we would exchange gifts with just the siblings. So in the morning, no one was allowed to go out to the living room. We would have our Christmas tree in the living room, and I still believe in Santa. So let's get that clear. So much magic, so much beauty, and no one was allowed to cross the threshold into the living room unless we were all holding hands and all ready. My dad needed to be out, and my mother would usually have had 2 cups of tea by then. The older we got, the funner she would be. She's always been fun. The more she would withhold and elongate the threshold to crossing into the living room. So she'd be like, we're all having bagels and no one can go anywhere yet, like building up the anticipation. So anyway, we knew that would be coming. So all the siblings would come into my room really early, like 6 o'clock, and we would all sit and laugh and open up presents for each other. So, like, I have a floodgate of memories. How I prepared, how I enjoyed. I used to make paper chains, right? The red and green paper chains and counting off the days of Christmas. We had an advent calendar that my dad's mom made this beautiful advent wreath where she sewed it and there was little felt pieces that we would stick on the tree. So all of these bring back a floodgate of memories and magic for me. We would go to Christmas Eve mass, like all of these things. And I feel like, and my grandmother would make shortbread with my grandmother, who's from Scotland and who was from Scotland, and she had a shortbread recipe. All of these things connected me with magic, and with the possibilities and the beauty and the yes, the magic and also the love around the holidays, the feeling that anything is possible, the excitement, the joy, the build up. And I feel like as we get older, we start to lose this. We start to step into this expectation of how we are supposed to create the holiday for others, or what we're supposed to do, or what people expect from us. And we lose that magic. We lose the intentionality. We lose our point of magic and our point of co-creation in what allows us to feel good. All of these things that I shared with you can still happen now, you know? And we forget that. Like we all of a sudden are the grown-ups and we're like, well, I guess we don't get to do that anymore. Yes, we do. Like, you can still watch Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. You can still watch Frosty the Snowman. Like, whatever it is for you that makes you happy, that brings you joy, that makes you feel alive during this time of year. So that's the first thing. What do you intend to feel this holiday? What do you intend to feel? And now we're going to start to invoke the indie. How do you really want to be this holiday? Who do you want to remember that you are? So again, remember, or maybe this is the first time you're hearing it, but the indie fem type, little tiny review. She's the fem type that supports us in increasing our capacity to receive. She's also the fem type that supports us with our being, not our becoming, our being, who we already are. So when we step into the frequency and the potency of the indie, and we invite experiences in, and we intentionally co-create through our indie, what we're really ultimately asking is, I would like the reflection that I am this. Because you already are it. You already are. We forget. So I would like the reflection. My intention is to remember and have the reflection that I am this. That's what's truly going on underneath the subconscious of the indie conversation. So who do you want to remember you are this holiday season? What does your indie say? Do you want to remember that you're fun, that you're magic, that you're innocent, that you're loved, that you're loved, that you're creative, that you're beautiful, right? There are no limits. What does your indie say to you? What do you want to remember about who you are this holiday season? And write this down. So knowing that, right? Let's utilize magic. Okay, say your indie, as an example, says you want to remember that you are magic. So now think about this foundational base. Think about how you can co-create a holiday with the intention to remember that you are magic. What does that bring forward? Like, how do you decorate your home if you're writing on the frequency and intention to remember that you're magic? What kind of co-creative experiences do you create for yourself and your loved ones if the intention is to remember that you are magic? This sets a complete new precedence for the holiday that puts you really in this place of power. Now, moving into the Frenchie, knowing that you want to create and your intention is to create a holiday that reflects to you that you are magic, what do you choose to enjoy? What kind of things would support you in enjoying and remembering that you are magic? What are they? Is it a sleigh ride in the snow? One year we went to Megève, one of the first years that we were living in France, actually. We went to Megève, which is a beautiful ski resort in France. And Nico and I took a ride through the town on a carriage ride with Clydesdale horses. So anything that you create, any experience that you intend to create will be your own definition of whatever it is you're wanting to experience, whether it's magic or beauty, right? There are no limits here. So you get to have this conversation with your Frenchie. What do I want to enjoy that will allow me to feel magic about myself, that I am magic? And then this beautifully goes into the New Yorker of what are the aligned actions that will support you in that? So, what are the things, what are the aligned actions that you can be in a place of power and allow yourself to have that experience? Because it's not just sitting around and thinking of it, right? It's then taking the aligned action to co create it. So, again, utilizing this example of magic, say you recognize that, oh, magic, and say it's a Clydesdale that you want to experience. Well, your New Yorker is going to support you in beginning to do some research. Where's the closest place that I can, get on a carriage ride with a Clydesdale? And if it's not possible inside of this physical realm, like at this point, meaning that you're not going to hop on a 10-hour plane ride or whatever it might be, you will find a solution. There will be something. Don't let go of the vision because your mind tells you that it's not possible. Be in the magic of it. For a couple of years, we took our boys to Chantilly. I do private days with my boys, and I haven't done a private day with each of them in a while, so I know that that's coming. And I took them both to Chantilly, which is where whipped cream, right? Chantilly, where whipped cream is originated in France. And there's this beautiful magic show there. And I took them individually to be in the magic. It's a little bit like a Cirque du Soleil. It's unbelievably gorgeous. And we had hot chocolate. And like for me, creating magical experiences, especially this time of year, is something I love to do. So then again, you're New Yorker. So let's review this. You're indie. Who is it that I want to remember I am this holiday season? And write that down. And then what are the things that I want to enjoy, right? Your Frenchie to support you in reminding me of that. What are the enjoyment pieces? And then what are the aligned actions that'll support me in that experience? What do I require to do? And do it with joy. Do it with pleasure. Do it with light. Do it with life. One of the things that we do, you're welcome to copy this if this feels good to you. I started this with my family when the boys were little. I create treasure hunts for my boys. Dave helps me, kind of. He sits in the corner and says, yeah, that's a good idea. I create treasure hunts for my boys that lead them to a very special gift, usually a very special experience. I love surprises. I love the magic. I love the surprise. I love the feeling that anything is possible. And I get this from my mother. I totally get this from my mother. So I love playing in co-creative realms of they find a little clue and then they have to go get that clue and then they have to do something and then they get the next clue and the next clue. And so I create this huge treasure hunt that's gotten more complicated for them as they've gotten older. So when they were little, one of the things that we did is we created little clues that led them into, we had a beautiful long closet in our Parisian apartment, in our first Parisian apartment when we lived on Rue de Bac. And it was a long kind of closet. It had coat closet, but it was stockage. It was for other things as well. And we hid brand new packed suitcases in there and they had tickets waiting for them for the Disneyland train. We went on a train and then we stayed at the Disneyland hotel and went to Disneyland in Paris. And so they had to go to the mailbox and they had these big Disneyland tickets and then they had to go upstairs in the closet and they had their little suitcases and we got on the train that day. So super fun, like what is happening kind of experiences is what I love. And this is not just for my kids, obviously, like I have so much freaking fun. I have so much freaking fun and I love to create this. So some ideas just to really inspire you, just for you to feel like, what would it be like? To really feel into the excitement and the love and the anticipation and the beauty and the magic this holiday season. So let me know what you come up with. Let me know how this shifts things for you. And really, my intention is that always that we all are really listening to where we're being called inside of our beautiful soul-led life and that we allow these sacred times of year to catapult us into dimensions of possibility where we reclaim our power and remember that we truly can co-create and are co-creating our beautiful soul-led life every second, every minute. So enjoy this holiday season. Let me know if it comes up for you. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all of the beautiful things. And may the end of the year really support you in a gorgeous reflection and celebration of who you are, what you desire, and why you came. I love you so much. Thank you for being a part of the Beautiful Soul-Led Life podcast and my journey this year. I love you. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much. Merci for listening to the Beautiful Soul-Led Life podcast. I would love if this message served you, that you support it and share it with other women who might benefit from really having their lives in balance with their FemmeTypes. And if you can leave a comment, do a review. I love reading every single one of them. And I would adore if you could take a snapshot of yourself wherever you listen to this episode and post it on social media. My Instagram is elegantfemme1, and I'd love to see you, share you, and just celebrate with you as you are moving into creating, experiencing, and claiming your own beautiful soul-led life.